Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of AWOLNATION's Totally Committed. And we're here in Chicago, and I thought I would just do it alone. So let's see how this goes.
My name's John Monroy. My favorite song that I landed on, favorite song of all time, was Mazzy Star, Fade Into You.
I wanna hold the hand inside you.
Because I remember the moment I heard it. I remember it so vivid and clear. I think I was in 7th grade, and I just remember that song consumed me, and it completely captivated me.
Great answer. Glad to have it on the pod. John's one of my best friends, known him since right around that time when he discovered that song. I've recently even revisited some of the live versions and performances, which is something I like to do all the time before I start to record a song in the studio with Eric. And we found some cool performances of that song, and she's so adorable. Her voice is so tender. The lyric, I can't really top how John described the feeling he has from the song, but fade into you, right? So I kind of envision, you just falling, the old trick where you trust all your buddies to catch you when you fall. I think there's a name for it, but it's like that, right? But you're certain they're going to catch you, and they're going to catch you with infinite amounts of rose petals somehow, and you'll fade into, a beautiful love relationship. She also has a solo record called Hope Sandoval, that is flawless front to end. Great answer.
My name is Emily Monroy, and my favorite song of all time would be, it's an adagio for strings and organ, and it's called Albinoni's Adagio by Remo Giazzato. I guess this is one of my favorite songs because it evokes so much emotion. Like every time you hear it or listen to it, no matter where you are in your life, it's like you more feel it than you do hear it. And music is very emotional to me, and so whenever I'm in a weird place, I hear that. And the first time I listened to this song, I thought of the stars and the darkness and the light, and I felt like it was the stars pleading to the night, asking for more darkness, because if there's more darkness, then they shine brighter. But the night's response was, you can't have it, because that's what differentiates us, the night, from the dusk. So it's their kind of back and forth of light and dark.
Some answers do not require any commentary. So congratulations to Emily. I have nothing to say to top that. Love the song. I will ask the audience, who wins the dark or the light?
My name is Bear Monroy, and my favorite song is I Love You by Billie Eilish. Because it's just very calming. And the lyrics are good, but I like sad songs.
Billie Eilish is incredible, great voice, one of the best modern singers, in my opinion, of our time. There's been a couple of clips where Billie actually said that the first song she ever bought was my song Sail, and so that's pretty cool to be a part of such an impactful artist's life. And she said some hilarious stuff about the song, and I think she said she always pictured the guy from The Walking Dead saying the sail part. I'll take it. That's a great show too.
My name is Arnold, and my favorite song is Adagio for Strings by Mozart. It's timeless. It's gonna last all of us. You can hear it when you're sad, you can hear it when you're happy.
So this is the classical episode. A little side note about Arnold, he's my trainer. Maybe a lot of trainers listen to classical music, but I'm impressed with his answer. I don't think I heard it when you asked him. I can't add much more to that. I mean, other than the thing with classical music is that, if you take for people who don't focus on music too much, if you take a small part of, you know, a 15-minute piece, and focus on that, it usually doesn't necessarily repeat itself, but when it does, it's kind of what ends up being pop music in a lot of ways. You know, some of these string sections or hooks get stuck in your head, and they feel familiar, and they are familiar in a lot of cases because we've heard them thousands of times throughout our lives in different movies. You know, some of the greatest pieces are in many different moments in our life, and so I don't have much more to add than that. It's a great answer. Glad we're running the classical theme.
So my name is Les Targonsky, production manager. A lot of festivals. I've worked with, you know, got to work with these guys a lot on our festivals. My favorite song, I'm gonna have to say, and I like Johnny Cash's version more, was probably gonna be "Hurt" by 9 Inch Nails.
Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end.
If I remember, Trent Reznor said it when he heard it. You remember what he said?
He said, "This ain't my song.
This is not my song anymore." Yes. And so it's a very meaningful song.
There's often been this debate between which version is better. I don't know how to make that decision. It's above my pay grade, you know, intellectually. What I'd say is, with cover songs, if you do a stripped down, raw version of a great song, you're shining a light on the lyrics a little more than the original version, which may have more production and more distractions from the message. And so I agree with this gentleman that, you know, when I first heard the Cash version, I'm going, I mean, I love 9 Inch Nails, who doesn't love that song? And then when you hear Cash's version, it just floors you. And coming from an old man who's doesn't have a lot much more time left on this earth, it's one of Rick Rubin, and Rick has many accomplishments, of course, but it's one of his greatest accomplishments to think of that. And as the story goes, I think he picked that song for Johnny to cover. I'll have to ask him next time I see him walking at Zuma. Great answer.
I'm Eliza Targonsky, and my favorite song is, I'm probably gonna have to say "Sail" because it's their biggest hit, and it's really good. Sail!
How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel like all like excited, and it feels good to listen to it.
I've got to hear journal entries from strangers, thousands of strangers over the years, whether it was on a flight, you know, at a bar somewhere, just meeting someone casually in everyday life, you know, where people have shared where they were when they first heard that song and how much it impacted them. And, you know, so I guess one cool thing I don't usually talk about is, you know, I've been let inside their house mentally, and they've shared with me, you know, some like stuff from people in combat, you know, and in war, all the way to a heartbreaking relationship, crossroads to losing loved ones, and I feel very honored that so many people have shared their story, you know, with me, their life story, their personal stories. And some of these stories these people share, I'm not even sure they've, you know, shared with people they know and friends. So for whatever reason, that song, you know, struck a nerve and continues to live on. So here's the good news. I still like playing it, and I'm still proud of the song.